So, sometimes we're good at lying at ourselves. And I feel like I'm the type of person that if I think I'm doing a lot of stuff, I feel like I'm a driven person.
Okay.
Compared to if I sit down and not do something for an entire day, I feel like I'm not being productive. So I would consider myself being like dragged, or where I think that in order to succeed in life, I got to be able to do things effortlessly. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if I'm forcing myself to do something, I'm just being dragged.
Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast.
Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Zap, and with me is my handsome, my sexy, my honorable co-host, who I'm married to.
Oh, hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy TJ.
And of course, guys, the Reset and Zap podcast is all about being in the right mindset for a brand new week. What do we talk about? Well, we chatted up about all sorts of stuff, all sorts of topics covering both life, work, gaming, and more.
So much more.
So much more. And if it's your first time listening to us, welcome. And you're bound to have a good time with us because we're going to close this debate.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for this one.
As a matter of fact, let me start it off.
Okay.
With a chef kiss.
Okay.
Chef kiss.
Let's talk about it.
Because once and for all of my audience in the United States, Europe, Japan, we're going to close this debate. We're going to come together and we're going to be educated. Okay.
All right, let's talk about it.
I've been doing my research in the good old Ethernet.
Ethernet. We're back to the Ethernet again, huh?
Back to the Ethernet.
Back to the Ethernet.
And we're gonna close this, and we're gonna harmony. You know, I'm trying to set people up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the question of the day is a chicken sandwich a sandwich or a chicken burger? Now I already can see this coming, y'all. Zap is getting out of hand. We've discussed this I don't know how many times.
Yeah, but it's time to put this to rest.
So I did my research.
Okay. Let's see what you got. What you got?
So I went ahead to the good old Ethernet.
Back on the Ethernet again.
And searched the definition of a chicken sandwich and a chicken burger. And I actually found some really interesting data about it.
All right, what did you find?
All right, so let's start with chicken sandwich. So a chicken sandwich, which is me, I'm team chicken sandwich. Let's make it very clear. This past two debates.
Yeah, and I'm Mr. Burger.
You're team burger.
Yeah.
I'm team
sandwich. Yeah.
So a chicken sandwich, the definition for it is a chicken sandwich is a sandwich that typically consists of boneless, skinless chicken breast or thigh served between two slices of bread. So that's the definition of chicken sandwich. Okay. And the definition of a chicken burger, and this I found fascinating, actually. It says, hold up. I gotta get this right.
Yeah, let's get it right.
I'm so nervous.
Nervous because you know you're about to be wrong?
I'm trying to get this right. In the U.S., a sandwich... Hold up. I'm getting nervous. A burger consists of a patty made from ground chicken served in a bun, typically hot, and often with other ingredients.
Okay.
But here's the catch. It says the chicken patty used in such a sandwich. So then I kept reading. What's the difference between a chicken burger and a chicken sandwich? Because guess what? Everybody's been searching about it in the internet. No, sorry, the Ethernet.
The Ethernet.
Yeah, gotta get that right. Get it right. So apparently, they said a chicken sandwich in the U.S. is usually a whole deboned breast or thigh, fried or grilled. And then the chicken burger is usually a ground chicken, griddled or grilled. And I must be a Europe girl, because this is where it gets interesting. It says all over Europe, you'll see the fried and grilled chicken on a bun referred to a chicken burger. But what they don't understand is, apparently, that in America, we differentiate like the sandwich and burger based on how the meat is prepared.
Okay.
But in Australia and other parts of the world, they categorize it based after the type of bun.
Really?
And that's why we're so divided. And I officially agree with all Europe. That's the reason why I won this debate. Because in my past 2 debates, that has been my reasoning. I've said that a chicken sandwich, a chicken burger, I've considered it a chicken sandwich, the same thing. Because of the type of bun. Just, I'm like, for me, anything that's between 2 slices of bread, I considered it a sandwich.
So basically, you're saying that
I should move to Europe.
You should move to Europe. 2, that a burger is just a type of sandwich.
It's just a type of sandwich. That's my debate. Now, I haven't done more research on this, so I don't know if they still consider, like, because once again, it says that they name it after the type of bun.
Okay.
So they might still consider it a burger, depending on the bun, you know? But that's their reasoning. Meanwhile, in the US, we could treat it based on how the meat is prepared, which I think that's where you come in.
Yes.
Okay.
I say as long as it is a ground meat, like ground chicken, ground beef, ground turkey, then you got a burger.
Gotcha.
So that is my argument. But you know what? I'm going to say something crazy here.
Okay.
I'm going to say something wild that's going to blow the top off this whole thing. And everybody's going to be like, I did not see that coming. I agree with you.
What?
I think...
This was not planned, guys.
I think you have actually convinced me.
What?
After hearing what you just said to me, I am convinced. I think that a burger is just a type of sandwich.
Oh.
Just like a hot dog would be a type of sandwich.
Look, I even got more definition to back it up.
Yeah, I think you might have won.
Because the chicken burger here, look, based on yourdictionary.com, it says a hot sandwich, a chicken burger is considered a hot sandwich made of a patty of a chicken in a bun, often with other ingredients.
Yeah. I'm gonna bow out on this one. You win, Miss ZapCristal.
Yeah, yippee-yi-yay.
You have convinced me. I'm gonna say it here, and this is gonna be the final say of it all. This is gonna be
timestamp this, guys.
Timestamp this. I am saying it right now. A chicken burger is just a sandwich.
It's just a sandwich. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm so proud of myself. I won.
After all this time, after all the debate.
Is this the first marriage debate I win?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just you are a winner. You have won. You are right. A burger is a type of sandwich.
You know, out of the entire research, what I found fascinating is actually how differently, like, we just take for granted the way we think over here in the United States.
True.
But as I did my research, I found myself not to be too different from how people on the other side of the earth, let's just put it that way, think about it. Because, like, when you Google, I found people asking this question, like, why do Americans call a chicken burger a chicken? Like, they're even like looking it up to try to understand the differences. So I guess this is a very important discussion because you even got the other half of the world looking for it.
Yeah, I think that what convinced me is that you said everywhere else but the United States thinks of it that way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with the majority rules. If the majority of people think that a burger is just a type of sandwich, then I'm willing to go with the majority. I'll bow out of this one.
Yeah, because when I read how we break down how the meat is prepared, it still didn't make sense to me because I'm like, okay, the burger it's a hot piece of meat on a bun. Okay, I get that. But then it says here like a boneless, what's it? A deboned breast that technically has to be grilled. It says it there, fried or grilled. So that also makes it hot. You know what I mean?
True.
So I'm like, so okay, so what's the difference?
I mean, some sandwiches can be hot. There are hot sandwiches. So like I said, I can't, I was trying to find a way to argue my way out of it, but I can't.
It kind of sucks in a way because I just wanted us to fight.
I was trying to find a way to argue. I was like, how can I get out of this? Like, how can I argue my way out of this? Like, some sandwiches are hot. It is still a meat between two pieces of bread. The grounding my whole ground theory kind of fell apart. And I couldn't think of anything else to argue. Trust me. I wanted to fight with you.
Well, I brought you another interesting fact.
Okay.
In honor of the chicken burger, chicken sandwich.
Wait. Time out. Hold up. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Okay. All right. It said stuck between two pieces of bread, right?
Okay, let me go back to
between two pieces of bread, right? That's what you said, right?
Which one? Chicken sandwich or chicken burger?
Just a sandwich in general, right?
In America. Okay, hold up. I gotta go back to the definition. Chicken sandwich, according to Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
A chicken sandwich is a sandwich that typically consists of boneless, skinless chicken breast or thigh, served between slices of bread.
Between slices of bread.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. A bun, specifically a hamburger bun, is technically one piece of bread. It's just cut in half. It's not slices.
Okay, I need to look this. I got
a burger, like think about it. A hot dog bun is one piece of bread that just folds in the middle, but it is connected.
This is a hot dog bun.
A hamburger bun is technically one, like if you just people think you go to the store and you buy hamburger buns, they're already separated, but when they're made, they're just one piece and you just slice it in the middle and then you put your meat in there. But technically, it is not slices of bread. It is just one piece of bread that has been cut in half. And that's
the same thing with the loaf when you bake a loaf and then you cut it in slices.
It's slices. You're separating it. A bun is not separated that way. It is one piece. And that is what makes it a burger.
But it says here.
It said between two slices.
Oh, hold up.
No. I mean, I'm cooking now, bro. It said between two slices of bread.
But it says here.
So if you, listen to what I'm saying.
I need to read my definition.
If you had a hamburger bun, would you say that it was called slices of a hamburger bun? Do you call hamburger bun pieces slices?
I'm going to go according to the definition.
I'm back, baby. I'm back. Burger for life.
It says here, what defines a chicken burger? It says, in the U.S., a sandwich, they already called it a sandwich, consisting of a patty made from ground chicken, served in a bun, typically hot, and often with other ingredients. The chicken patty used in such a sandwich.
Nah, bro. I'm going to have to disagree with the dictionary. When they said sandwich, they said it was between two slices of bread. Who makes slices of hamburger buns?
I need to look.
There is no slices of hamburger buns. There is no slices of hot dog buns. They are different. A hot dog is not a sandwich, and a burger is not a sandwich. Let's go.
All right, I need to look up another definition for chicken sandwich.
I'm back. You thought it was over, didn't you?
Hold up.
You thought it was over. Nah.
Definition of chicken sandwich.
Nah, bruh. Look up slices of hamburger buns and see what comes up there. Because you don't slice hamburger buns.
Anyways.
You cut them. You cut a hamburger bun. You don't slice it.
I'm a little salty.
Yeah. I'm back. I guess we got to have a part 4 then.
Well, I found this to be quite remarkable because it said who invented the chicken burger. So apparently there is a person under the name Truett Cathy, and it says that the first chicken sandwich, I'm reading, that's what it says there.
Okay, you can read all you want to.
Is thought to have been created in 1946 by an Atlanta restaurant entrepreneur, which is the name I just said, as a substitute for the famous hamburger. And his recipe was simple. He grilled a piece of chicken fillet and served it in a bun.
See, you already messed up. He didn't grind it, so it's not a burger. That would be a sandwich. But if he grounded that meat, it's a burger.
Yeah, well, I mean, so that's what they put in the question anyway.
Yeah, so he wrong. He invented the chicken sandwich. He didn't invent the chicken burger. Sorry, bro. And
he called this new invention of his the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. All right.
I didn't know that.
Here's
That's kind of clever.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
Chick-fil-A. That's what it comes as Chick-F-L-A. It's supposed to be Chick-fil-A, like a chicken fillet. It's the whole thing behind Chick-fil-A.
Fun fact.
Yeah, but here's an interesting question. I guess by my definition, a Chick-fil-A sandwich would be a sandwich and not a burger, because it's not ground meat.
Well, here they keep saying, okay, so there's another one that somebody asked, why is a burger not called a sandwich? And they said, this is what people say, but again, it don't make sense, but I'm just going to read what they said. It said, a sandwich has meat and cheese between two pieces of bread. A burger has meat, possibly cheese, and some toppings between two pieces of bread.
I'll say that one more time.
I know, right? This sounds like a tongue twister.
Yeah, say that one.
So basically what they were saying is a sandwich just has meat and cheese between two pieces of bread. While a burger has meat, sometimes you add the cheese, and then also you add toppings. But that don't really add up, because wouldn't you add up? I add toppings to my sandwich, so like, what's the difference? So
they're basically saying the same thing. I don't know,
so they're just confirming what I've said. That, like, anything between two slices of bread, I call it a sandwich.
Yeah, that 2 slices of bread would be a sandwich. But what if it's on a bun? Buns do not come in
But
slices.
you just said it. You have to slice it when they buy it.
No, you don't slice it. You cut it. There's a difference between cutting and slicing, my friend.
God, now I gotta look up the definition of slicing.
Slicing is when you take, like, say you got one hunk of bread, right? Slicing it is when you cut several times to make equal pieces.
Okay, so why don't we bring next time the discussion why a taco is not a sandwich?
Because there's no bread. There's no bread at all. A taco is not a sandwich.
You're just making it complicated.
A burger bun is not sliced into even pieces. It is cut, and then the burger put inside.
So
That's what makes a burger and a sandwich is the bread.
What's the
Sandwiches come on slices of bread. Burger comes on buns that are cut. Cutting and slicing are different.
What's the difference between
Nah, bro, it's not over.
cutting and slicing?
Part 4. Let's go. This is never going to be over.
So slicing is a type of cutting. Yeah. This is where we're at right now, guys.
Yeah, let's go.
That involves cutting food into thin, relatively broad slices across the grain.
Bam.
Slices can be used as is or further processed into other cuts such as diagonals. Okay, so that's okay.
That's
and
slicing.
then what's chopping? I mean,
cutting.
What we said? Cutting. I can't even begin.
Yeah, bro.
What's the meaning of slice and cut? To cut something into thin, flat pieces.
Wow. It's different than slicing, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still think I'm with Australia and Europe and the other half of the earth.
Well, I guess it's just me against the world.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I'll take on the entire planet. Let's go.
Meanwhile, I'll move over there.
A burger, it's not a sandwich.
So, yeah, guys, comment below. Have we educated you?
Yes, we have.
Have we convinced you?
Yeah.
Are you team sandwich?
Or team burger?
Or you say screw the Ethernet?
That's what I say, actually.
None of y'all know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because a burger's not a sandwich, it's a burger. That's why they call it a burger. If it was a sandwich, why don't they just call it a sandwich?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I still think it's relatively like.
If it was just a sandwich, why don't you just call it a ham sandwich? They don't call it a ham
Can we just
sandwich.
agree with one thing here on the podcast for the other half of the world?
What?
For them that they don't understand the U.S.
Okay, what?
U.S. is unpredictable.
Yeah, we are.
We say one thing today and tomorrow we just change our mind.
And we stand on principles. A burger is not a sandwich.
We have freedom of speech, so tomorrow I might say it's a burger.
USA, 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 USA. Burgers for life.
Oh, God. Let's just stop it there. And how about we reset?
Okay, let's do it. Pew.
Is that going to be your new thing?
Yeah. Pew.
All right. Are you ready to reset?
Let's do it.
'Cause I sure am.
Let's reset.
Okay, hold up.
Okay.
All right. So for reset time, this is a conversation I was having with myself, actually.
You were talking to yourself?
Yeah, I was just talking to myself. I stand in front of the mirror. I'm like, you sexy, bad. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways.
Get to the point.
So I was like, I got to ask myself, am I a driven person or am I dragged?
Okay, explain.
So, sometimes we're good at lying at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm the type of person that if I think I'm doing a lot of stuff, I feel like I'm a driven person.
Okay.
Compared to if I sit down and not do something for an entire day, I feel like I'm not being productive. So I would consider myself being like dragged, or where I think that in order to succeed in life, I got to be able to do things effortlessly. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if I'm forcing myself to do something, I'm just being dragged.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it comes to the point where I'm having those inner monologues, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Sure.
And asking myself, okay, are you actually a driven person? Are you a person that's driven with a purpose in life? Or are you just being dragged and kind of figuring it out?
Okay. Interesting. I don't think I've ever really thought about this before. Okay. So driven or dragged.
And I guess if you want, I can start because, like I said, it's something I've been analyzing for myself as time goes by.
Go for it. Give me a thing. I'm intrigued. I want to hear more.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought this up is because I feel like I've gone through, as well as you guys probably have, gone through different phases of life and different seasons where you're always like recalibrating and you're readjusting to wherever life decides to take you.
Okay.
And sometimes like you have these desires, these dreams, these projects that you want to accomplish or you want to do, whether it be professional or it be, personal goals.
Okay.
And you depending the type of person you are, you'll adjust accordingly to it. So I'm very detail oriented and I'm a planner. So typically I always think way like into the future.
Okay.
And
you do that for sure.
Yeah. And typically how I've been taught is like come with a 5-year plan, then come with a 10-year plan and kind of have an idea of where you think you see yourself within 5 years, where you think you see yourself in 10 years, and then make plans accordingly so you can reach your goals, But I find myself sometimes just upset.
Yeah.
Because then I'm so laser focused on this goal that I forget to enjoy what I've already accomplished.
It's actually funny that you said that because I was actually just thinking the same thing. As you were talking, I was like, it is not saying that it's bad to have a goal and a plan for the future, because sometimes that is necessary. But I feel like that if you focus too much on that, then that will be more of what you were talking about, like drag. Like you're focusing on the goal and not what you have to do to get to the goal. So you're just kind of being drug along to get to that goal. Whereas being driven means like you actually are motivated to do the thing and are in the moment doing it. And I think that's where me and you kind of differ. Like that's where our differing personalities kind of mesh and we become the whole person that we need to be. Because on your end, you're like that. But on my end, I'm more of the in the moment guy. I'm the more of, all right, turn the camera on. I'm just going to start talking and something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And whatever that result is, I'm going to turn it into something regardless of what it is. And that has its place too. So and I think that's why I was struggling with the whole drag versus driven thing, because I feel like in a way you kind of need a combination of both. Like sometimes being driven is what you know, that'll get you through the moment. But this is going to sound weird, but sometimes being dragged isn't necessarily a bad thing, because in either situation, you're still moving forward.
Yeah.
So like, even if you're being dragged, you're not necessarily motivated to do it. You're still taking steps and moving forward. I think the worst situation to be in is standing still.
Yeah. And this is the fascinating part, because, you know, whether it be the Bible, whether it be what other people speak about, motivators and stuff, I've always found something that everybody can agree upon. And that is like, everything has its time. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I think, at least for the United States, because I can't speak on behalf of the other half of the world, but at least on behalf of the United States, one of the biggest problems we've encountered as society is the hustler mindset.
Yeah.
You gotta go, you gotta grind, you gotta hustle, you gotta, you gotta work hard.
Yeah.
And subconsciously, I got to see a short of this, and I found it fascinating, where this girl, she just sat down and she was relaxing.
Yeah.
Just relaxing, not doing anything, just being lazy, but not really lazy. She earned it, But as soon as somebody walked into the room, she opened the laptop and acted like she was doing something because she felt guilty of relaxing. Yeah. Like she had to show, quote unquote, I'm being productive, like I'm actually doing something, so you don't judge me for just chilling. And I think that is the problem we have in the United States. Like, people feel guilty of like not doing anything because they consider themselves like, I'm not being productive. And I've found myself in many times.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, I think that's a problem that y'all people have, because I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Me, because the way I look at it is that some people see relaxing and chilling as not making progress. But to me, relaxation and chilling is how I refresh my ideas. Like, it's in those, matter of fact, you've experienced this to yourself, actually. And I think that's when you started to learn, is that when we had our
retreat,
we had once very specifically when we went out and had a picnic, and we were just relaxing and chilling and just enjoying nature and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, a song popped into your head.
Oh, yeah. Which was Coming Home.
Coming Home.
On my album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our love journey, Coming Home, was made on one of our retreats. And that was a moment of relaxation and chilling and calmness. It's sometimes in those moments where creative juices can get the flowing and moving, and you're still technically making forward progress. So I look at chilling and relaxing and taking a moment off as a way to reset your battery, as a way to recharge so that you can move forward. Because if you're moving forward with no energy or no charge, then you're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think people look at it the wrong way. Like, forward progress is forward progress. Like, sometimes you make an inch and sometimes you go a mile, but as long as you're moving forward in some form or fashion, even if you're just resting, you're still moving forward because, okay, I'm recharging. So when I do start moving again, I can actually move faster and stronger. So I don't look at it that way. I look at it as it's part of the creative process. It's chilling. There's been times where I've written stuff where I'm just in my car, just chilling by myself, music playing, and I'm like, oh, idea. Boom. As soon as I get home, I'm about to bust this out. And I think it's all part of the process. And the people who just go all the time, eventually that engine is going to shut off. And then you're not going to be moving anywhere. You're going to be standing still.
And I love to use like metaphors because like everything in life can like teach you a lesson. So for me, a lot of people may not know this about me, but I love gardening.
Yes.
And I love plants. And there's something that stood out to me like this week, and I was like, wow, I didn't think a plant would teach this about life to me. So, like, for example, I think about, like, what's the process of taking care of plants. So a plant can grow rooted and robust. And that means that at some point when the plant grows, in order for the branches to grow stronger and bear, like, fruit or flower or whatever it's destined to be, you have to do some pruning. So there's a time that you have to cut off those dead leaves. You have to cut off, those thin branches that are just sucking up nutrients or just sucking up all the stuff that the plant needs in order to grow strong. And you have to clean it up. And sometimes, like what happened recently to us, if it's unattended, then you're just looking at the surface level, but there's a problem going on way underneath, And so, like, my big plant,
Big mama,
we were planning to transfer her because I noticed she got too big for her pot. So we got a bigger pot, we got soil, and in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're ready. We're going to transfer her. She's going to grow beautiful. Well, what happened was we waited so long that once we pulled her out, the water was smelling not too good. We could tell something was wrong. It was not filtering properly, a bunch of stuff that stemmed to the plant dying.
R.I.P. Big Mama.
And I was like, okay, so, sometimes we just look at the surface and don't want to tend to the root of the problem.
Ooh, bars.
And I'm like, why don't we just, instead of focusing at like the mere surface of the goals we want, like, why don't we just do this introspection of what's siphoning our energy as a human being and get that right before we can even move forward in life. And that was just a plant that taught me this. So I was like,
are we going to church right now?
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with it.
I feel like we're going to church. I feel like you're about to preach.
But so what I'm
say the word.
So what I'm trying to say is like you might be in a season in your life where you're so focused on a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard people be like, oh, once I get monetized, once I become a partner, once I hit this amount of subscribers, then I'm going to be happy. Mm-hmm. But it just siphons their energy because they're so rooted in these numbers and these results that then they sacrifice like the quality of the content they're offering or the creativity of just being truly themselves and then just copying other content creators because they're just wanting that success. They're following success. And Russ is another good example. Russ, when I went to one of his tours, which was phenomenal, he had this shirt, which I have this shirt because I love it. And I mainly got the shirt for the message because he wrote, it's not about the destination, it's all about the journey.
Yes.
And I feel like I can resonate with it now because as we've done retreats, as we've gone to, vacations, as we've initiated in taking upon ourselves, long periods of breaks, periods of times of not doing anything, just being still.
Oh yeah.
It has really helped me like revitalize myself, center myself, root myself, and then kind of see like, okay, am I happy where I'm at right now? And what do I need to do in order to enjoy the journey instead of just focusing on this goal? So, yeah, this is how Are You Driven or Dragged started.
Can I say you so beautiful when you talk like that? Good God. Turn the fan on up in here. Sheesh.
I just feel like sometimes you think you're the only person that's going through this, but there are a lot of people out there that are going through this same process, like even like becoming a parent.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%.
So I guess what is a good piece of advice you can offer them? I already feel like I've kind of said it, like I really think you need to, I will say this.
You was getting it, but I got some stuff I can spit, but I was letting you do your thing because you was getting it.
I think I'm tapping into my spiritual side.
I know that's what I'm saying. I think you about to preach up in here. Go ahead and pull out the preacher voice.
I think that before you even focus on goals, you need to change your mindset. Like you need to see what is the real value I'm trying to get out of this goal, or what is the real problem? Because sometimes, a goal seems nice on the outside, but if there's something you haven't worked on, then this goal is going to bring you like nothing but more problems and pain. Like if you're seeking, validation, or you have low self-esteem, or there's something else you're struggling with, or it could be as simple as you're just trying to make money, and
that is a thing.
And you think this is your way out, this is your cash cow, then that's going to become a problem.
Yeah. That was actually one of the things I was going to say, is that if it's not something that you enjoy doing, if it's not something that you love, it's going to be much harder to be driven towards something like that. It's easy in the short term to just, I just want this thing to happen and I'll do whatever it takes to get there. But then once you get there and you find out what you had to do to get there, and now that you're stuck doing that thing, it's very easy to now you're being dragged at that point. So I say that start from the beginning. Before you even think about the goal that you want to reach, think about how to make it something that you love doing. Figure out a way to make it something that you will enjoy doing, and then craft your process based on that. Like, for example, with me, everybody knows I love music and I love gaming. So I put those two things together and then use that to create the content that I enjoy doing and that I love doing. And I'm driven to do it because it's something that I enjoy doing. I don't see it as work because it's fun for me. Like, even if I wasn't doing it in front of a camera, I would still be making music because it's just what I love to do. And the second thing I would say is also accept the fact that your chosen path will not match everybody else's path.
I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah.
Because I'm basically doing a niche within a niche, that I may not be able to see the fast, quick growth that some other people are going to see because they're doing more generic, more general, more bigger audience type stuff. Like what I'm doing is geared towards a very specific audience of people, and it's just only a certain amount of people in that audience. So I have to understand that I'm not going to wake up one day and have 1 million subscribers. Like it's just not going. It's going to be a slow, grinding process, and I accepted the fact that that's the way it's going to be. But I chose to do it because it's what I love to do. So you need to decide what it is that you're really in it for. Like, are you in it to love it and to just really enjoy what you do, or are you in it just to be big? Because if you're in it just to be big, then fine. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever it takes to get there, because that doesn't matter to you. But eventually, I feel like everyone will look back at what they've done and be like, I didn't enjoy this. This wasn't fun. This wasn't what I wanted. This wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Because people think that once I get to the goal, everything's going to be okay. Like once I hit the target that I want to hit, once I get to the place I want to get, then all the issues, all the problems are just going to magically go away. And that's not true. They're going to multiply.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is once you get these goals, and like in the instance you were talking about getting monetized, like people think, oh, once I get monetized, then everything is okay. No, it's not. That means you got a lot more work to do. Now you have to really, really gear your content towards what's gonna, please advertisers, and certain kind of content you're gonna have to cut because certain advertisers won't want their things advertised on your channel if you do certain things, and you have to be very careful about what you say and how you move and what you do and who you associate with, and you have to do pretty much rearrange and change your whole life to really maximize what you're trying to do. So you really gotta really think, what is the goal? What am I trying to do? Is this all about money? Is it about happiness? Is it about, am I just doing this to have something to do because I'm bored? Like, everybody has their reasons, and you have to look at your reasons, be honest with yourself about what your reasons are, and you have to accept what comes with the decisions that you make. Just like with me, I accepted the fact that I don't have one of those channels that's going to see instant super fast growth, because I'm not doing just generic music or whatever. And that's fine with me. I'm cool as long as the people that do enjoy my music continue to enjoy it and continue to enjoy what I do. That's more important to me than whatever kind of goal there is. And honestly, for me, this is, I've talked about this before, it's more of a hobby. So like, I'm not really worried about some ultimate goal or some kind of thing. It's just, for me, I'm just doing it. And if something happens from it, that's great. If it doesn't, that's also great. I'm cool with whatever happens when it comes to that thing, because that is not my main goal or my main purpose. So like I said, it really does go on an individual to individual basis, but you just have to decide why you're doing it, what you want out of it, and what you're willing to do to get there.
Yeah. Like, for example, fast forward, because we got some bills to pay right now.
I'm gonna pay some bills.
I'm gonna pay some bills.
Somebody?
Yeah.
Who's calling today?
I don't know. Check it out.
What?
Hey.
Is this ZapCristal.com?
Yeah.
Hey, ZapCristal.com. How you doing? Oh, you just wanted to tell me about the fact that ZapCristal.com is the one-stop shop for all things ZapCristal? Oh, there's an email list there?
Email list?
You can sign up for an email list, and then you can get emails directly from ZapCristal herself?
Word.
Oh, you can find out about the podcast and the music and videos. I can't tell them about that yet. But that's pretty cool that's going to be coming soon too.
Wow.
I wish I could tell you guys about this. I can't tell you guys about this, but wow. There's a lot of cool stuff going down at ZapCristal.com, and I think you might want to get on it. You might want to get on it because there's some stuff that's going to be coming soon. So yeah.
Pretty dope.
All right, is anything else? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, www.ZapCristal.com for all things ZapCristal.
Yo, this is clean.
Dope. Well, thanks for calling. I mean, you did interrupt the podcast, but,
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
All right, talk to you later. Peace.
don't you find it convenient that they just happen to call us right now?
Right in the middle of the podcast, right?
It's like, I don't know what's up with that. But anyways, do you have something that you want to promote?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh. So what is up with this phone?
Yep. Oh, MasterSwordMusic.com.
Okay, now I got another website.
You know your wife just called me? Yeah, ZapCristal.com. Yeah, she just called me. Yeah.
www.
Interesting.
Okay.
So MasterSwordMusic.com also has a website. Oh, wow.
For
And
real?
all things Master Sword Music.
Wow.
They have a MSM CD shop where you can get All About You and Our Love Journey physical copy delivered straight to your door.
What?
Wow, that is amazing. And you can find out about all the artists, their social media links, their music links, and everything that's going on. And you get emails directly from TJ the Gamer talking about uploading videos and new albums dropping and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I mean, where's this at? www.masterswordmusic.com.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
There we go.
And but you and your wife really need to stop calling during the podcast.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's.
I mean, we do appreciate it, but We trying to film a podcast right now.
It's getting out of control.
All right, man. It's all good. It's all good. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Peace.
Yeah. So I guess thanks. And if you want to become a sponsor, go check out the website. There's more information, but also if you're just a viewer wanting to support, for all of our listeners, for all of our viewers that wanting to support the podcast, go to Buy Me a Coffee. At Buy Me a Coffee, for any amount you decide to tip.
Yeah.
You can drop a comment, you can drop an inspirational quote, whatever you feel like dropping. And who knows, your comment might be highlighted in the next podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because we love spoiling the community.
Yes, we do. We love y'all.
And we truly appreciate everybody that's taking the time to sit down and listen to this, because you could be doing anything, yet you chose to listen to us.
Yeah.
But talking about being driven, I love this topic because you brought up a very important point, and I kind of wanted to expand on it. And it's the fact that we all are walking on a different timeline.
Facts.
And it wouldn't be fair, and it's not fair at all, to compare our timeline to another person's timeline.
True.
Because there are multiple factors that come into play. There's different life experiences that come into play.
Mm-hmm.
And, this person is built in with a set of skills, a set of gifts, a set of tools that are designed exclusively for their own success. And if you compare yourself to them, then of course you're going to feel dragged because, you haven't been able to discover your own gifts. And I think that that's the main issue too. Sometimes we build this almost like idol in our heads for, towards a certain person that we look up to. And we're like, oh, if only I can be like them. But that's the thing, you're never going to be like them, because in order to be like them, you have to live their same timeline. And if you would appreciate more your timeline and take your time, then you can discover gifts. Like I still, till this day, I'm in my 30s. I'm not ashamed of saying that.
Yeah.
I'm still discovering a lot of gifts, like a lot of skills that are untapped that I'm just tapping into again. And the more and more I spend time discovering it, the more confident I become in myself.
Okay.
So like going back to the simpler things, it could be as simple as going back to past hobbies or past passions you've had that you've kind of let go of and just going back to again. So like me, for example, crocheting, sewing, gardening, going back to those skills, because you have a lot to learn from it. And as you learn from it, you discover how talented you are, your own gifts, and then how you can apply it into different aspects in your life.
Oh yeah.
So it really has helped me quite a bit, and it's made me more confident as a person.
Man.
Yeah.
This was a deep conversation.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to go like this.
No. Oh, I would say, and this I also want to thank, because this is not fully my idea, but I've been reading this book, which actually is a perfect way to transition into pause.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Pew.
Pew. So are you ready to pause? Yeah, I think you're ready to pause.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been reading a book which I absolutely recommend people, and if you haven't heard about this book, then you need to snatch up a copy for yourself.
Is this our first book recommendation on the podcast?
It's a yeah.
Nice.
It actually is.
Let's go.
I'm still going through the book, by the way, because I've heard so many people talk about it, and I've been enjoying it. And it's called Atomic Habits. And it's actually perfect for this segment because we're talking about being driven or being dragged, And in Atomic Habits, without spoiling it too much, one of the key factors that he mentions in the book is changing your mindset and how important this affects when forming your habits. So, like, for example, he says the difference between somebody who will actually stay on track and form good habits to somebody who is just not going to be consistent is the way they perceive themselves. So it stems directly into who you consider yourself. Like, what's your identity? How you identify yourself. So, like, for example, he was saying about, a person that, let's say they're trying to get off from, stop smoking.
Okay.
Let's use that example, right? And somebody offers them a cigarette, right? And they're like, oh, I'm trying to stop smoking, In their head, they already are thinking, I have this issue, I have this problem, I'm trying to get away from it, but this is tempting me. But then there's this other person that is in the same scenario, and the person offers them a cigarette, and they're like, oh, no, thanks, I'm not a smoker.
Yeah.
That's already a shift right there. Because yes, they were at some point, but in their mindset, they're already considering themselves like, that is not part of my identity. That is not who I am.
Okay, I like that.
So, like, therefore, it's like easier to reject something and keep a good habit because they already believe more in themselves,
Okay.
So I feel like if you work within your space and work on your own identity, like, who am I as a person, then it's easier for you to form habits and to be driven.
I like that. I like that. Changing, because I never really thought about it that way, but that's something I actually do a lot myself. Like, when it comes to like creating music, I have to put myself in a certain mindset, and I have to, put myself in a certain place and time in my own head. And like the way that I approach it is mostly based on like how I feel. So like if I'm in a certain kind of mood, I can't make certain kind of music. Or if I'm in a certain headspace, then I gotta write about that specific thing. So it's a very targeted approach. And that's why my music is pretty much like I've said this before on the podcast, it's like my diary. Where it's like wherever I am in that place and time is what the music tends to be about. And it's all about, like you said, that state of mind and like having yourself set like, okay, this is where I want to be. So I'm in my mind, I'm already there. So it's like this is where I want to be. This is where I am, but I am that thing that I'm trying to be. So you put yourself in that mind state, it makes it easier to drive towards that goal that you're trying to reach. I really like that. I like that.
Yeah, because when you take that approach, you're basically a work in progress. So like for me, I've set a goal to like read more books. But I already took the approach of, instead of saying, oh, I'm just trying to read a book, I actually will say I'm a reader. And as automatically I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a reader. Yeah, I read books. So it already is like setting you up for success.
Setting the tone.
And then like prepping the environment. So another thing I started doing thanks to the book, and I definitely recommend you guys picking up because it's really good, is just setting the environment to like lend itself for you to want to do those things. So like in the room, I'll set a book. So if I see the book, I want to read the book.
Yeah.
Or I'll do something that triggers, that is like that cue. So I maybe will prep myself a cup of coffee, and that coffee is my cue that will trigger me into wanting to read a book. So
setting your environment for where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then just setting smaller goals. So if you know you haven't read a book, like me, I haven't read a book in a long time, of course I'm not going to read 2, 3, 4 pages. So maybe the goal will be something as simple as just set a 5-minute timer and maybe just read a paragraph or whatever amount you can read in 5 minutes or a one page, you know what I mean? And slowly but surely, because it's easier, you're starting easy, you'll just build upon it and strengthen whatever habit you're trying to set upon yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's why I was like, I recommend the book, because it's part of what we're discussing right now of how to be proactive and stay out of a mental rut. So here's 4 agreements that I found from Don Miguel, which I think is fascinating. And I'm just going to read it, and we're going to kind of tag team back and forth, and you're going to tell me how you feel about this.
Let's do it.
So he wrote about the 4 agreements, and number 1 is be impeccable with your word. So this means speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others, and use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love.
It's funny that you say that, because that's something that you say about me all the time. And you always say like you're a man of your word. And I like the way that makes me feel when you say that. And I like being a man of integrity. Like if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. Or if I tell you I'm going to take care of something, I'm going to take care of it. So I think that's just something I've always instinctually done. But not everybody's like that. And I think that that's something everybody needs to start doing more of. It's just like, if you know for a fact that it's something you can't do, just don't say it. You know, it's just as simple as that. It's not that I only say things that are the truth. I only say the things that I know I can do.
Yeah.
Like if it is that's more of the way I kind of approach it. It's not like, oh, everything I say is the truth. Not necessarily. It's just that I don't say things that I don't know that I can't do. So I'm not going to say, hey, babe, I'm going to take care of this thing if I don't think I can take care of it. I will say, hey, babe, I'm going to try my best to handle this. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm going to attempt it, and we're going to see what happens. I'll be, just be more direct with your words and what you're saying. It's not about, if you say something, you have to do it. It's about thinking about what you're saying before you say it, and then sticking to what you know. Like if I say, hey, babe, I'm going to make sure you go get your nails done this week. Then when Friday come along, I'm gonna be like, all right, why are you in my house? I need you to go get your nails done because I said I was gonna do it.
Which is pretty much what he did. Yeah.
Pretty much. I kicked her out.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not gonna tell you something like that and then don't come through when it's time to do it. That's why I will say, I set a date. I set a time. I was like, all right, when I come home from work, I'm gonna go grab my son, go make sure I got everything I need to take care of him, and I'm gonna send her out of this house to go get her nails done. That way, when I tell her, hey babe, you're getting your nails done this weekend, and she gets happy and excited about it, she's not disappointed on Friday when I act like I'm not prepared for what I said I was going to do. So it's just like you say all the time, being purposeful, and just setting in your mind. Like if you say something, then put it in your calendar, write it down, prepare for it. Like I would say, hey babe, make sure I got something to feed the baby. Make sure I get it. I got all the diapers and whatever I need to make sure that I can take care of my son by myself while you're not here. And I prepared and planned and had everything in place so that when it was time to do it, I could just be like, all right, go on, take care of business.
Yeah.
It's all about setting that expectation in your mind and just not saying, just don't say things just to say it.
Yeah. Or because it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Say things that you actually mean. Like it sounds very simple, but for some reason it seems to be a big problem in this modern society. Like, don't just be saying things just to say it. Like, say the things you mean, and if you don't think you can do it, don't say it.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to be a man of your word if you only say the things that you know you can do.
Yeah. Which is a perfect way to be proactive and stay out of a mental rut. So following up tip number 2, he said, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering.
So true. I mean, I don't even think I could say it any better than that. Basically just saying that, like, don't let what other people say affect you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be seeking the validation of people who don't even really know you.
And I think when you do, it's because you don't even know yourself well.
100%. Like for me, the validation that I seek is from you, my wife,
Yeah.
my kids, my family, and my close friends. Like those are the people whose word actually carry weight with me. But just, I can only speak from this because this is what I do. But in the YouTube space, I love when people leave comments, and I always appreciate it. But it's like their validation isn't what drives me to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not what makes or breaks me, because sometimes people say things that are not so nice.
Yeah.
And I can't let that weigh on me and make myself feel like I'm less than because somebody else had something to say, when really that was just somebody on the internet who was bored and wanted something to say, or they're dealing with something themselves and then they're projecting their issues onto me. So it's like I can't let those kind of things weigh in on my spirit. So it's like for me, it's just you need to seek validation from those who are worthy of your validation. Like it's not everybody is worthy of your time, not everybody's worthy of your space, your presence, your energy, and it's not worth it to like go after every single thing that somebody may have to say or think about you. Like
Yeah.
only worry about those who really truly care about you. Like the ones who come to you and really mean something to you. All right, that validation is fine to see. As long as my wife is happy with me, doesn't matter what any other person, especially another woman, has to say or think about me, because my wife loves me. She loves who I am. She appreciates me, and her validation means more to me than any other woman on this planet could ever mean to me at this point. The validation of my children is going to mean more to me than just some random people on the street that I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if that makes you feel some kind of way, then I don't know what else to tell you.
Which is something you've taught me.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like your job is not to try to convince the world of who you are.
Ugh.
Because if they can't see it or they don't want to see it, like no
They
matter
never will.
what you do, you're not going to be able to convince them. So like for me right now, one of the things that I got to remind myself, and I'll keep this short and sweet so we can go to the tip number 3, is like being a mom again. I became a mom at a very young age, at around 17. I had my first child, and now after 14, 15 years, I've become a mom again. And I have to remind myself, hey, there's going to be people that are going to come even with good intentions, but are they going to try to give you advice? Oh, I think you should do it this way, or I think you should raise your son this way, or, I don't think you're doing this right, or stuff. So I got to remind myself, do I feel good doing this? Is my son safe? Is he happy? Is he in a good place mentally? Then that means I'm doing a good job. And if I'm doing a good job, ain't nobody know better my child than me.
Facts.
So I have to remind myself these things so I don't take things personally. So,
Man, you put a bow on that.
yeah. So tip number 3, he said, which is something I still work with till this day. I think everybody at some point has to work with this. And it's don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama.
Where's that son at?
With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life.
Where's that son at right now? I literally said this to him not too long ago. We were talking about something and I brought up like, you can't just assume things. You can't just assume somebody understands. You can't assume somebody knows. You can't even assume somebody cares.
Yeah.
Like you need to speak up for yourself, speak clearly, get the information that you need, and then that's how you can move from there. Because you can't assume that somebody cares about your schedule. You can't assume somebody cares about your life. Assume anybody cares about how you feel or what you're going through or what you're dealing with. You need to speak up. You need to be an advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't advocate for yourself, most other people won't. Like if you don't speak up and say how you feel, most people won't know or won't care. And it's very important to you just can't make assumptions like, disgusted. I love it.
Yeah, and I think I've learned to apply this more now in our marriage, because in my past relationships, I made a lot of assumptions, or I was like scared to be clear about things, like to set boundaries or ask questions without fearing, oh, I'm going to hurt this person's feelings, or no, like there was moments I should have been clear. I should have cleared out any misunderstandings and seek out the truth and the answer to this one thing. And sometimes people will say, well, don't ask this question if you don't want to know the answer. No, I say go ask that question even if you know what the answer is going to be. Yeah. Because if not, then you're going to make assumptions.
I'm about to say, because that, once again, that is technically an assumption. Saying that don't ask the question even though you already know the answer. Well, if you already know the answer, why are you asking the question?
Exactly.
It means you're assuming you know what the answer is. But then you ask the question and you may realize, oh, I didn't know what the answer was. I thought the answer was going to be this, but I was actually wrong. Saying that you know the answer before you hear it, that is what an assumption is. That is the definition of an assumption, is I'm assuming that I know something that I don't necessarily know.
And in a way, it kind of comes off as you being prideful.
Yeah, a little arrogant. A little arrogant that you think that you know the answer. Like, you just assume that you know the answer.
You're like, oh, I know this person, so I know they're going to say this.
I know exactly what they're going to say.
But
it's actually, in a funny, joking kind of way, it kind of happened in the last episode where you assumed what I was going to say for my hot take. And you was like, all right, I already know what you're going to say. I was like, actually, I think I'm going to surprise you.
And you did. And you did. So... And I'm not even ashamed of it, because that's literally the first thing I said. I said, I'm still working with this. And I think everybody at some point in life are like working on not making assumptions.
Yeah. And that's just a tiny little thing. That was kind of a little joke between the two of us.
Yeah.
But, it does illustrate the point, though. Like, assuming is basically thinking you know the answer to a question before you ask the question.
Exactly.
That is what an assumption is. And sometimes you might be right, but sometimes you could be wrong.
And it's even happened like when I'm learning stuff. Like sometimes I'm sewing, I'm making something, and I'm assuming, like I'm already walking in advance and being like, oh, this is going to be the end product if I do it this way. But then I be like, okay, let me stop myself. Let me look up a tutorial, maybe look up someone that has actually done it. And then comes for me to find out that, no, I was just making it maybe more complicated for myself or something.
Facts. And I've done this to you before, where like we working on a song or something and I'm writing something and I kind of got an idea and I assume I know the approach you're going to take. I'm like, oh, I know what she's going to come at it from this direction and do that. And then you come on there and do something completely different that I wasn't expecting. So it's like, you can't put people into a box. You can't put yourself into a box. So I feel like assumptions are fun, but you can be wrong. It's cool to try to, think where something may go and try to figure out, how well you know this person and how much you can get into their head. But it's also good to remember that sometimes you might be wrong and you might not want to put somebody in a box or put yourself in a box assuming things about yourself, because it's not even necessarily about another person. You can make assumptions about yourself and be wrong. I assumed that I would not enjoy an opera. I assumed that until the day you took me to one. And then I realized I love the opera. Like, you can make assumptions. Like, I assumed that I wouldn't be into certain kind of things, but I've never actually tried those things. So how would I know? And then you've taken me to all these different experiences and I found out about all these things that I assumed I wouldn't be into. But now I realize I'm totally into it. I never thought that I would be into a play about Clue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was so good.
So it really was good, actually. It's really freaking good. But if you would have told me that a couple years ago, I would have been like, man, I ain't gonna like that. That's dumb. Why would I? I'm not gonna enjoy that. But being open-minded, I was like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, we'll have a story to tell, And I went there and had the time of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely enjoyed it. One of the best plays I've ever seen. Some of the best acting I've ever seen. So funny. Like, it was everything. And I'm just like, the old me would have assumed I wouldn't have liked it and just wouldn't have went. But assumptions can have you missing out on life. There we go. That's the point I was trying to
Oh
get
my
to.
God.
That's where I was trying to get to.
Oh.
Assumptions can have you missing out in life. You assume that you don't like certain things, or you assume that you know certain things, or making assumptions can have you missing out a lot in life. Because I assumed that I understood, like, man, I'm about to spit now.
Oh God, are we taking this to church?
We were working on like improving our credit and all this kind of stuff, and trying to like understand finances better to, so we can, elevate ourselves to the next level. And I assumed that I knew how credit cards work and how credit and all that stuff is supposed to work. I was like, oh, I know. I figured this out. Like, I know how this works. And then I started speaking to this lady, and she actually taught me something that I didn't know. And the way I was doing things was actually wrong. And I was actually hurting myself more than I was helping myself. But because I thought I knew things, I didn't know, and I was making mistakes. When I opened my mind and started listening to other people and stopped making assumptions, I was able to learn something new and apply that to my life in order to improve it. So assumptions can have you missing out on life. Ooh, that's where I was trying to go, and I finally got there.
Wow.
There we go.
If anything you get out of this podcast is, write it down. Assumptions can make you miss out on life opportunities.
Ooh, that was a bar.
Yeah.
That might end up in a song somewhere. I'm just letting y'all know now. That might end up in a song soon.
That's deep.
Woo!
And then the fourth agreement is always do your best. So your best is going to change, and I love this, from moment to moment.
Mm-hmm.
It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick.
Yeah.
Under any circumstance, simply do your best. And you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
Bang, bang. That's a bar.
And
I'm gonna let you. You want to go?
Yeah, I love this one because
you go first.
Because I always hear people saying, "Oh, do your best," and best usually means like impeccable. But doing your best, like you said, depends from moment to moment. So doing your best from being healthy to doing your best when you're sick can look completely different.
Facts.
So like, I'll use a perfect example. It's something more relevant, something newer in my life. And it is my postpartum recovery.
Yeah.
I had a C-section, and I had another major surgery, which is a tuber surgery.
Yeah.
So those are two major surgeries.
Yeah.
Plus, add to the fact that I had a baby. So it's 3 life-changing events. So that means what? That means that my body's in recovery. That means that I'm also having to take care of another member in the household. That means I'm having to start like a complete beginner again and having to like readjust myself. Like, who am I? Where do I start? How do I get myself together? How do I start feeling myself again? And that is something that you can't figure out immediately.
Oh.
And at the beginning, for me, it was very, very hard because, one, I needed more help from people. I couldn't just get up and do it by myself. I had to learn to read my body and accept the fact that I was in pain. I needed medication, and that medication was going to help my body. And I also needed to like mentally prepare myself because, from being this go-getter, I had to slow down, and I'm still having to slow down. Like we've somewhat slowed down. Slow down, but what I've taught myself is, at that moment, my best could have simply been me resting in bed, or just being able to feed my baby. My next best at another point would be, I went out and walked 2 minutes. That's all I could have done, but that was my best that day.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Progress, moving forward.
And then as I've done things that I kind of been like stacking upon each other, that has helped me, like he said, to avoid self-judgment, because you can be really hard on yourself when you have all these expectations or you wanted things to go a certain way and it just didn't go that way. And for me, I went through some stuff. I'm not going to go into details, but I was very hard on myself. I was questioning myself, why wasn't I capable? Why did I waste my time and get to this point and then it just flopped? What happened? Maybe if I did this differently, maybe what would have happened? What if, the what if thing.
What if will drown you, man?
Yeah. And I had to stop myself and be like, no, you did what you could, and that's fine. Because in a way, when you do that, you are self-abusing yourself. Mm-hmm. And that can be the worst thing in life.
And funny thing is that leaning back to what we were talking about earlier, that's also making assumptions as well. Assuming that things were supposed to go a certain way, or assuming that this is how it's supposed to be. So these kind of all tie into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't respect forward progress. They don't, if it's not the progress that they thought it should be or what it should be, they don't really respect it in themselves. And that's a problem. To me, I think forward progress is forward progress. For me, this is the way I always thought about it. And musically and just because that's something I can easily relate to, is that with my channel, it's some days there may be a couple of weeks that go by and nothing really moves or shakes or anything. But then it'll be a day where I'll get 2 or 3, subscribers here and there, or a couple more views here and there. That's forward progress. And even though it may be small to you, it's still a step forward. And I think more people need to look at it that way. A step forward is a step forward. Some days you'll be able to run. Some days you'll only be able to walk. Some days you'll only be able to crawl. Some days you'll need to just rest so the next day you can run, walk, or crawl. Mm-hmm. But forward progress is forward progress, no matter how much, no matter how great. Forward progress is forward progress. Like I said, the only problem is when you standing still or walking backwards. That's when you have a problem. But if you make it an inch, guess what? That means you're an inch closer than you were the day before.
Yeah. So, these are the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always, always do your best.
Always do your best.
If you do this, you can stay proactive and basically stay out of a mental rut.
Yeah. You know what my best is?
What?
Giving my wife a kiss after this podcast. That's the best I can do. It's the best I can do. It's just the best I can do. Is just put my lips on you, and that's the best I can do.
That's the best you can do for today.
Best I can do.
Yeah. You know what's the best we have done?
What?
Been able to record this podcast.
Yes.
And I want to thank each and every one of you guys. Don't forget that you can also partake in this discussion. So, maybe you can leave your own tips, things you do in order to stay proactive. If you agree with us, if you don't agree, how are you a driven person, or do you feel like at times you've been kind of dragged in life? I would love to participate with the community and kind of see where everybody is on their timeline, because we can learn so much from each other.
Agreed.
And in the meantime, while you're doing that, depending where you're listening to us, you can also drop your ratings. You can drop your reviews as we read them constantly to tweak the content.
Oh, yeah.
We've been making a lot of changes to the podcast. Of course, listening to y'all's feedback, making it entertaining to you guys, but also streamlining it where it's easier for us to reproduce.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, I want to remind you to reset
and zap
for the week. Peace.
Can I do it again?
Yeah, you can do it again.
Okay. Pew.
Pew.